Ahoy, shipmates. Welcome back to On the Wind. I'm normally your host, Andy Schell. This week, we've got August hosting and interviewing Mats Grimsæth, fellow Norwegian sailor, and someone we met actually on the way to Spitsbergen in 2018, and who in fact loaned us charts for most of the coast of Norway and Spitsbergen in 2018. Thanks, Mats. I'm excited to listen to this episode with August. A couple quick updates. If you've been supporting On the Wind through Patreon or by donating directly to us, we're making it simple and getting rid of all that stuff and asking you join us on the quarterdeck. Go to quarterdeck.59-north.com, where August and I spend a lot of time talking about seamanship. There is a couple years worth of articles and resources on there now, and we post regularly on there, whether it's video, audio, or written content, usually once a week, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on how much we're sailing. But it gives you a chance to see behind the scenes at how we make the sausage here at 59 North, so to speak. So please consider being a member. Again, go to quarterdeck.59-north.com. And thanks to the 500 or so members who we already have and to everyone else who's supported the podcast over the years. We're winding down the year. And a couple things that I'm working on in the background. We're going to have a new website launching in 2024. It's not going to look that much different. It's actually just a refresh using some newer technology, so there'll be more fun ways to display the stuff that we're offering on the website. August is wrapping up Eastbjorn's 2025 passage calendar, so that is going to go live with the new website in early January. And we are in the final processes of filling our apprentice slots for 2024. If you want to be an apprentice with us, if you have a desire to make a real career in sailing, go to 59-north.com/apprenticeships. We have closed applications for 2024, but you can still get your name in, and we'll be in touch with future opportunities. All right, with that, I will leave you to the episode with August and Mats Grimsæth. And until next week, hold fast.
Hey everyone, August here. Hope you are doing well. I'm recording this in my car as someone is drilling into the chimney in my house at the moment. We're having a new fireplace put in, and man, it is about time because it is cold as hell over here. So very excited about that. Also very excited to bring you today's guest. We go way back, and it was fun to catch up with Mats. He is just such an open and humble guy, and I'm really looking forward to introducing him to all of you guys. If you want to see what Mats looks like, which is a pleasant experience, you can watch and listen to this interview on video on YouTube if you want. I'm going back inside now. Please enjoy this week's episode and hold fast. On the Wind is presented by Pelagic Autopilots, a group of dedicated sailors and engineers developing autopilot solutions for the blue water cruiser, solo sailor, and racer. Pelagic systems have been tested in races and voyages around the globe. Our 465 Falcon has sailed with a Pelagic Autopilot since her big refit last year, and the unit has performed flawlessly for over 16,000 miles. So when we went to put Eastbjorn into refit this year, we wanted to replace her aging Autopilot as well, and the Pelagic was a natural first choice for us. I am beyond excited to try it out, especially with the accompanying remote control. If you've never had a remote for your autopilot, you really don't know what you're missing. Pelagic testing grounds are in the Pacific coastal races, and their philosophy is to provide simple, self-contained products requiring no connection to proprietary data networks, which is one of the biggest advantages to the robust, redundant systems that we have aboard both of our boats. The Pelagic Autopilot uses the latest sensor and computer technologies to hold a course through the most difficult conditions. In January 2019, Pelagic Autopilot was acquired by Scanmar International, best known for manufacturing the Monitor Windvane. Pelagic Autopilots, built by offshore racers for offshore racers. Check out pelagicautopilot.com to learn more and spec your own system. This season of the podcast is also sponsored by DiveBlue.com. They produce tankless diving systems that allow you to dive like a scuba diver, but without any cumbersome tanks on your back. The unit is battery-powered and floats on the surface, pumping air down to you through a tube so you can breathe to your lungs' content. They make two versions, the Nemo for dives up to 10 feet and the Nomad for dives up to 30 feet. We have Nomads on both of our boats, and they are amazing tools to have. We all have business below the waterline occasionally, getting fishing lines out of the prop, cleaning the hull or inspecting the keel. Freediving, this is nearly impossible. Getting 5 seconds of work done at intervals in between surfacing and breathing and flopping around. It's just not a sustainable way to operate. But with Dive Blue, you can stay submerged for up to 90 minutes at a time, getting much, much more work done without exhausting yourself. Also, it is fantastic for recreational use. Sailing, we get to visit some of the most amazing underwater seascapes on the planet, and with Dive Blue, one gets a whole other level of access to all of it. Extremely convenient, easy to use, reliable, and very compact. They come in a little bag you could bring on an airplane with you as a carry-on, and you can charge them on board your boat in as little as 3 hours. Highly recommend these. Go and check them out and get your own at diveblue.com. That is DIVEBLU, the number 3.com. Welcome to On the Wind, the podcast about offshore sailing. I'm your host, August Sandberg. Mats Grimsæth is a professional skipper, photographer, lecturer, and fellow Norwegian. He's the youngest person to ever skipper a boat around the island of Spitsbergen on Svalbard, which is where the two of us first met. He has a great passion for the sea and for his fellow human beings. Having had a difficult time in his teenage years, he's now using his considerable energy and outreach to help others in the same situation. Ok, skal vi bare hoppe rett I det?
Vi gjør det.
Okay. Good morning, Mats. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm doing good. I'm sitting here out in the woods. The snow is falling outside, and it's a good morning. I'm a bit recovering after a season. I always had how do you say it? In November, I usually need to get down again, connect with the earth, and see how much I have pushed myself the last season. And if I'm still always trying to find the balance between everything I want to do and what I need to do for myself.
Very good. That's a good idea to be aware of. So you're in a cabin now in the forests?
Yeah, it's actually
a
house. It looks like a cabin, but it's a house. It's the house of Randi Skau, the first Norwegian female to climb Mount Everest. So it's quite. She knows where to live in Oslo. So she lives 20 minutes outside city center, and you can walk straight out into the forest. That's a nice place to be.
That's great. It looks very nice for you audio only listeners. It's got this like very nice wooden walls, very similar to my place actually.
Yeah.
So
it's the same spirit, I think.
This is very good, very good. Yeah. So has it been a tough season for you? How does when you're checking in with Mats, how's it been?
It's actually been my best season so far. I've been freelancing as a skipper, you know how it goes. And but this is the first year I had a normal job. I had a contract for 6 months. So it's the first time of my 10 years doing freelance. I actually knew what I was doing for 6 months. And I also had turnus. So I worked 2 weeks and I had 1 week off. So it's been my most, predictable season so far. And it's the first time in 10 years I actually had 10 days with summer vacation in the middle of the season in July. And now I understand why people like summer vacation.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good, I'd say. So what? So how long it is the season, and how what I guess you might want to tell people what you do. It's been kind of a you've been doing a lot of different skippering over the years. What is your current gig look like?
My current gig is that I work as a skipper for a company called 62 Degrees North. It's named after the degree where we are at in Ålesund. And it's kind of a flexible company. They have the last years I've been doing mostly sailing skippering. For me, sailing was the best thing I knew and my hobby. That's how everything started. And then I did too much work with skippering sailboats, so I kind of got a bad relationship to sailing. I didn't want to have that. I didn't want to lose the feeling and what sailing was for me. So I kind of just stopped everything with sailing, and I started working. If I was working with boats, I wanted to do different stuff, different gigs, and I've always been really curious about just boats. If it's the sailing boats, that's the best thing, but engine boats, old boats. So working with 62, I've been introduced to more engine boats. So I've been doing like normal guiding with the rib trips, where you go with high speed, the rigid inflatable boat out in the open ocean. In Ålesund we have the fjords. We usually go to Geiranger, Hjørundfjorden, Øye. We also have some luxury boats. I'm skippering a Targa 44. And even though my heart is in sailboats, a Targa is the best engine boat you can have in Norwegian waters. It's crazy for all type of weather, and it gets us from A to B anyway.
Yeah, those things are amazing, and I visited you this summer. I sailed past Ålesund on my way down from Bodø on Isbjørn. We sailed past Ålesund, and we went into your port there, and you showed me around some of those boats, and yeah, you know, me too. I'm a sailing man, but some of those power boats they did look pretty nice. I would say so. 62 Degrees North, yeah, it's a cool group. Not as cool as 59 Degrees North, but 62 Degrees. No, it's still cool.
But it's good though. You can be on our different latitudes and be cool.
That's true. 62 degrees. That is the latitude of Ålesund. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's right. Cool.
That's why.
Yeah. No, power boats are cool. But yeah, you said you started in sailing, and that's where we first met too. Back in when was that? We met on Svalbard we did a trip there together in what might
2017, I think.
2017, right? Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
that was you were skippering up there then, and I believe when I met you there, you had just become the youngest skipper to ever sail around Spitsbergen, to circumnavigate Spitsbergen, I think. Is that right?
That is correct. I was only 22 years old, and I was the expedition leader of 50 feet plastic boat, Bavaria 50. Had 2 skippers with me that was twice the age as me, almost. And we had 10 guests joining, and we did the circumnavigation of Spitsbergen end of July, start of August, I think. 10 days. That was quite interesting.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, that's so you did you how was the conditions then, ice wise? Were you able to get through without much drama, or?
It was a quite good year with ice. The ice edge was far up north, but we also got the experience of how fast it's changing. When you get like northeasterly wind, the ice edge come down so fast you wouldn't believe it before you are there. So we were actually just chilling on it was a beautiful day when we reached 80 degrees north. We moored the boat to a big ice flake, and got the guests on land there. It was a stable one, like ice flake from the edge. So we were just drifting on that one. They were drinking champagne. They were swimming in the ocean. We were just enjoying, floating around, and then just suddenly we were surrounded by ice. So I had arranged that we had these long poles that we will probably need one day, pushing the ice away. And then we were just suddenly stuck navigating in between ice flows. And the bow thruster was getting a lot of heat on it because we wanted to get out of it, and people were pushing. But then my pulse was pretty high, and we were able to get out. And the ice after that wasn't that bad. It was mostly navigating the ice going into glaciers. So we were quite lucky with the total ice image.
Cool. Yeah, no, still a very, very impressive feat. And I think I've seen a photo of you guys tied up to that ice floe. It's pretty it's pretty cool. And you are all in addition to being a skipper, you are a very excellent photographer as well. And you have a lot of photos that I'd recommend people check out. And I remember very well when we did that trip together that year in Svalbard. You always had your camera up, and you had, that was the first time I really kind of had this realization of how useful drones are on the sailboat up there.
Oh, that's true.
Because I remember
Yes.
we were in some pretty thick ice maneuvering situations as well, and you just launched your drone and were kind of piloting us out of the ice with your drone scout. That was really, really cool.
I remember when you say it now, I see it all in my head, and I remember really clear. I was just like laughing at. I think that's the only time I said to someone skipping, just follow the drone. But it's an amazing tool, just get 30 meters higher, everything looks more open. Navigating in ice, that will take a life to be good at. I think it can look so looks like there's no opening, but there's usually always opening.
Yeah, I remember that really well too, because we were sailing at the time. We had like all of our sails up, and we're going fast.
Yeah,
and it looks like you're just sailing straight into a wall of ice, and from the deck. And you were just up there and telling us that everything would be fine. But yeah, it's just such an amazing tool, and just getting somebody, just putting somebody up the mast. It's just so helpful, maybe just to the top spreaders, and you suddenly have such a good view of everything. So getting the drone up there, that is very extremely helpful.
Yeah, we're lucky living in a technical time, because there's no wonder why before they had the big tender that you can.
The crow's nests at the top of the mast where you would sit. Yeah.
Now I understand why they had them.
Yes, very, very true. Yeah, so you are a pro photographer as well. How did you get into that part? Was that where it begun? Was that your first thing, or how did that happen?
I would say it was my first thing. In my youth, I kind of never felt that I was good enough, or that I belonged to anything at school or with that I found the friends that I needed, and I ended up being bullied, and I didn't want to be that guy being bullied. I just wanted to be okay with who I was and find my people that I could belong with. And unfortunately, I just faked it. I pretended that I was okay. I didn't care about all these comments. I wanted to be one of the tough guys. So I started pretending to be one of the tough guys, and then I became one of the tough guys. And even though I knew that, how much effect a few words could have on me and my life, how bad it could be, I started bullying others to to become one of the cool guys. I did everything I could to try to belong to something, try to feel accepted, and just try to be cool, try to have friends. And after a while, probably on school, it looked like I was in the cool gang. I was the shit kid, to say it straight, directly translated from Norwegian. In the class, I always had a comment. I was kicked out by the teacher. I got the people were cheering at me, but that was only at school, and that was only what people were seeing there. When I got back home, I had not always people to be with. I was finding myself alone in the bed. I was struggling with my thoughts. I never talked with anyone. I didn't think that would help, and that the tough guys, they didn't talk about feelings. So I just ended up being in a dark hole, and I was afraid of how far I would take it with other actions. Would I start doing drugs? Would I start stealing? How far would I go with my pursuit of being acknowledged for who I was? And being alone with all this thought, it didn't help at all. So after going to a psychologist, I also started walking. I was always walking my dog, and I'm luckily I grew up by the ocean in a small village outside big city life, and I was walking by the ocean. We had this local spot called Saltstein and Mølen down in Vestfold, Larvik, and I was walking there, and one day I just took up the camera. When I took up the camera, I felt this strange feeling. I never been stoked about anything. I just tried everything because everyone else was doing it, and I felt that if I do that, I also will find my way in life, or do what makes other people happy. But when I took up the camera, I was so curious. I was so curious on what happens if I push these buttons. Suddenly I took a picture. I never felt this strange feeling. So I was just, for the first time in my life, I was doing something I didn't know anything about, and I wasn't afraid of that. I wasn't afraid of being good enough or anything. I was getting an escape from maths that wasn't good enough. I was just, it was kind of a peaceful thing, and for the first time I was doing something that made me happy, and it didn't matter that I sucked at it. I was just there with myself. I was in the moment, and that was kind of nice. So I took pictures of everything. I took pictures of birds outside the kitchen window, the waves, the water. I was just trying and failing. And then after a while, we were lucky enough to be 3 days at the local newspaper to do a working day where you get, you collect money for another business. And then
how old were you then at this time?
15 years. So
15 years.
Yeah.
So you were young. I did the same thing. I also went to work for my local newspaper. So,
I don't know how you say it in English, but we were not collecting money for a business, but a nice
just some work experience, getting some it's a good.
And then I was there, and I remember I was so curious on what was going on, and I was so eager to learn. And after that, I just really decided that I want to be a photographer. I just got to figure out how. And lucky enough, I did a good impression at the local newspaper, so I could start working there more and more. And back at that time, I always had the police radio at my ear. I always had my backpack with me with my camera. But I was only 15 years old, so I was actually cycling around in Larvik, bicycling around in Larvik with my bicycle, taking pictures of accidents and stuff that was happening. And then from there, I just worked my way up. And I just tried and failed. and was lucky enough to make a living out of it. So it started with photography, and then photography has introduced me to sailing and other activities that I like.
I see. Wow, that's an amazing story. Man, there's so much to get into there. Good on you for actually like finding that out and kind of going to a psychologist and figuring out this one thing that you could do for yourself at such a young age. That's pretty cool. When this evolved and because you started at the bottom there, just figuring it out, and you eventually did become very, very, very good at it. But was that, you think, because you did it for yourself? Was that something that kept? Was that always the case? Did you feel like that was something that you did for your own sake, even when you became a real pro?
Yeah, when I started as a photographer, I was met with a lot of people that said that you can't be a photographer. You're only 15 years old, you don't have an education, you're just a young boy, you don't know nothing. And luckily for me then, I already at that age, it's kind of sad because I see a lot of this still happening. We have all this, we have all this meeting new people that want to become something, and we just meet them with the wrong words. But luckily for me, I've kind of already in my head, that was just gasoline on the fire. I just wanted to prove them, okay, but that's up to me. It's up to me to see what I can do, because I can still try and I can still fail, but I don't know if what I can become or what I like if I never try and fail. So for me, it started with that. And even though like my pictures have gone viral, you get all these followers, all these likes. For me, I always knew where I started, and I definitely know who believed in me and who didn't. And it's a lot of people that didn't, that suddenly wants to be with you when you go viral or you have all these likes. It's I try to be nice and just don't give them the middle finger, even though that's what you want to do. But it's nice to know
told you so. Yeah.
Where I came from. And but even though I did that, it's also it's interesting to be thrown in that and being famous and all that. But for me, it's more and more photography and reaching out on social media. It's also what learned me a lot of about other human beings, other stories. So the best thing is when everything became quite big, I met a lot of people that I never would have been talking with or hearing the stories from, and that developed me as a human being to get more knowledge about people, different subjects such as suicide, traumas, anxiety, all that stuff. But it was kind of the same as sailing. Photography was the one thing that actually saved my life. Without photography, I think I never would have had the mental health to be here today. And that kind of got me out of that dark hole. It gave me a free space and coming out in the nature. But also then photography, you get into it, you get up on like a high level. It's all about getting better. It's a nice environment, but also toxic sometimes. But it's because it's all about being better, delivering, getting the likes and everything. And I never liked that chase. I wanted to do it for myself. So at some stage, I kind of lost the feel of photography.
Right.
And then I just, it wasn't the same anymore. And then I had to kind of put it all down, do something else, and then find my way back again. So actually this year, it's the first time in many years I've just taken my camera, walking out to take pictures. Nothing else, not post it, not share it, just to be there and because I really like what I'm proud of being good at is sharing stories that can make other people learn, if it's how to pitch your tent, or if it's to learn about youth guys, how they manage with suicide thoughts, or I like sharing, and I like saying something with my pictures, so trying to find back to that.
That's very nice how you've as somebody who's followed your work and your photography and your outreach, I guess you have, because you have a huge following now, and you are very, very good at kind of talking about, well, you have a big focus on mental health, and you talk about your own story and others, and I think that's a very cool way to use that attention that you have. Is that, it almost seems like that's like almost become your main thing now, because you travel around and you hold these workshops and talks around on these topics. Would you say like that's your main focus now?
For me, it's kind of 50-50. I'm also there that I just want 8 to 4 job. And I just want to go home again. And then, because I have no is bold to say, but I've been working a lot the last 10 years, and I'm not 30 years. And I'm no, for me, that's what's been so nice this year with when you're a seasonal worker. So I had like 6 months where I'm only working with that, and it's the first time I had so much time off during a hectic season. And that's really done it for me. I had more focus on doing what I like and have some time off. And then in the off season now, I still need to find some time to kind of reconnect or get down to earth again. And then I'm using the time now to kind of think of what I would love to do. I'm still doing some public speaking. I'm public speaking tomorrow for the army school here in Oslo, so that's quite nice. And but I don't think I want to live off traveling around. That's why I also ended up at 62 degrees north. I really like it in Ålesund. It's the first time in a while I kind of felt like I found a home place. And not just the base where you touch and go. I've been touching and going a lot in my career, living in a bag, and it's nice until a certain point. For someone, it's nice the whole lifetime, and that's the good thing about people. Like, everything can do their own thing, and I've been doing my own thing since day one, and now I kind of figure out that this is not my kind of identity as a person. I just also want to do the normal daily life. I really like it now. But I really I have a passion for people. I have a passion for people discovering that they can belong to something, and that they can be who they are with all the luggage they have. And a lot of that developing is actually happening with practical working, if it's on a farm outside or if it's on a boat. But for me, it's really been on a boat, and I wanna use the knowledge I have about people and boats and nature to help others, because sometimes it's just a high for someone to have a better day. I mean, we seem to forget that it's sometimes it's just quite easy. People just need to have something to go to and belong to and feel that they can achieve something. So I'm working with that also. But I'm actually in that time of the year where I've set up 4 months now where I'm not going to work so much. back on the east coast of Norway, where I grew up with my family, friends, and trying to figure out what I want to do. I'm a project guy. Usually when I think that I'm just touching the earth again, I find a new project and I just go full on again. and I said to myself, yeah, but I learned from the last project. This would go well. And then I end up at the couch again with all these devastating thoughts. And I should have stopped earlier. So now I'm just trying to not have a project for the whole off season. And yeah.
That's a typical thing that you just like you plan on not doing anything, and then once you relax, then you actually have the time and the resources to come up with new things and off you go. But yeah, no, it's very cool to see your you working with troubled youth, and I know you've been doing a lot of talking at schools and stuff, and kind of having experienced that yourself, having been a teenager and in trouble. And I bet you have a lot to teach these kids, and sailing is I agree with you 100%. I think that's a great way for people to probably, like you said, like just find something that you can really be good at and have a positive experience with. So yeah, I think there is some huge potential there. You did get your own boat. It was what was that, like maybe two years ago or something?
Yeah, 2 years ago, pretty much.
Yeah, Sophia. I remember met her around a couple of times before you bought her. But that was so. What do you want to tell? Kind of what that project was about?
Yeah, it was probably a project that shouldn't have started. No, not at all. I at that time actually been looking for my own boat for several years. I wanted a steel hull. I had like 3 criteria for my own boat, because I wanted to do more privately, but also been freelancing for a lot of companies the last year, learning a lot. I'm grateful for everything I've learned, good thing, bad things, for everyone I've been working at, because that's how you learn, and that's how you learn how you want to do your own stuff also. So I had like 3 criteria. I want a steel hull, I want an inside steering position, and I wanted a fireplace inside the boat.
You can tell that this is a high latitude kind of boat. Yes.
Yeah. So I knew of Sophia. I've actually sailed her several times. I knew the guys that owned her, and then they suddenly decided to sell her. And it was a bit before I kind of had the money, so we just I had to gather what I needed, and at that time I was lucky enough to buy her. Bought her in May 2021. Left her in Tromsø until August 2021, and then we sailed it down to Ålesund, because the idea with Sophia and everything I've been doing, that I wanted to combine commercially sailing, like where everyone can just join up and be a part of it, with youths and people falling outside the society, that they could join the project. So already when we started to renovate the boat, I had people from all over Norway coming to do voluntarily work. I wanted to create a meeting place where everyone can just show up, and didn't matter how much you did or what mindset you were showing up in. Everyone was welcome. And I wanted to create something bigger around the boat, that people could feel the ownership, felt that they belonged. And we wanted to do more sailing trips where we bring people that don't have the money for it. Because what we were talking about, I think we could bring the top leaders in the world on a sailing boat for a week, and they will end up with being more peaceful. And
Yes.
I've brought everything from people living off the street to rich people flying in. When they come on a sailboat, something different happens when they have to participate in everything, where they have to be a team. The first 2 days, they're like on their toes, excusing themselves if they touch you, and it's new and it's tiny, and then just suddenly you can see it on the people. You can suddenly just cracks open, and they see that they're a part of the same team. They have to, every role has the same meaning. If you're tying up the rope or doing the dishes or steering the boat, you're still a part of the team, and without you, we will get nowhere. And that's the best feeling about being on a sailboat. And I wanted to focus more on that and to bring it easier available for people that don't have the funds to join. That went really well. We started with doing trips. I wanted that the crew of the boat, my long-term idea was to recruit people that didn't have the money or anything, that they could join and learn how to sail and become the skippers, and that they could run the boat as I wanted. And one of the guys I brought with me, his name is Janna. He's 50 years old, and he's never been at the school or knew anything about sailing. He's been living on the street and been a drug addict for over 30 years. But when he came on board a sailboat, his life just changed, and I've never seen... He's my biggest inspiration in that it's never too late to change your life or to learn something new. Like a guy at 50 years old, not knowing so much about anything. He wants to pay with cash because he don't like banks and everything. But he's like a typical guy that you don't think will develop in something practical. But when he came on board a sailing boat, he is actually he's the skipper with the less education I know that I trust the most. And we've been, he actually ended up being my co-skipper on professional assignments, crossed the Barents Sea together in storm. Yeah. So we've been through a lot, and it's nice to see how something like that could really have a much more meaningful experience for someone else. So we called it Project Sophia. And we wanted to be more including and to share the experience with others, and we did that. We made some movies about it. It was also my first time an opportunity to do more private sailing, and we did a private sail up to Svalbard for the first time. I had some skiers with me. They were going to make a ski movie, but still it was kind of a private approach. And I knew everything about the boat. I've been tearing it apart, building it up again for 7 months. And
I remember you were posting a lot through that process. So a lot of hard work went into that.
It was good. The hard work also helped you when I came to Bergen.
That's right.
I had it fresh in mind what we needed to do.
You were working on Sophia, and then you had couple of days break, I guess. You were in Bergen, and I managed to press gang you into changing some seacocks on Isbjørn.
That's perfect.
That was great though.
So,
I think that's a ski movie. Isn't that on Netflix or something?
Yeah, it's also on YouTube. It's called Wyto The Voyage to the End of the World. And it's also Norwegian streaming. It's with Nikolai Schirmer and some other talented skiers and filmers, and they really made I'm pretty proud of that movie because it's not a typical ski and sail movie. They also brought with them the human aspect of the trip. You can also learn a bit more about Project Sophia, but also about the skiers. It was not like, we are a bunch of cool guys, we go sailing in the Arctic, we are badass skiing down there. The typical bullshit. But they have a really nice touch to it. And that's good. That's what the effect I wanted to have with Sophia. and it's cool that it went pretty well. Yeah. Then
Yeah,
1 year ago at this time I had the same. I was touching ground again. We had our first trips with Sophia, with also some paying clients, and I just felt that I just woke up one morning and I just felt that I don't have it in me anymore. I don't have enough capacity, because I was doing everything, and to be an entrepreneur and to be running everything, it's not that easy. Maybe 10 years ago I had more to go on, but I woke up and I had this feeling that shit, this I can't do this. And I think the best is to just stop before it goes too far. I wanted to stop before I needed to stop. I wanted to shut down. I knew that I didn't want to stop doing what I do, but I could see that to get this to work, I have to give it everything I have. I have to give it my whole life, and I already had debt up to my ears, so I didn't have enough to go on. And that was really, really hard, because the first feeling you get as a human is that you're failing. But the only thing I was failing to before this was listening to myself. And from that day, I was starting to not failing myself. I may have failed others, failed investors, everything. But even with all that pressure, I felt that it was the right thing to do, so I didn't end up not being able to do anything else.
Yeah, that's I can only imagine. I know very well how it is to how much work it is to run a boat professionally, and with a lot of the stuff that you guys did with, you know, bringing people off the streets with no money and taking them out into the ocean. That's great, but you know, there's not a ton of money into doing that, I can imagine. So but that's interesting, you know, because it from the outside it looked very successful, and it was like you said. But was that, did you feel like a little bit like when you were 15 again, that this wasn't what you wanted to do anymore? It was just, you were kind of just keeping it alive for other people?
That was the hard thing, because also looking back at it now, it went really well, but it's just the first time I've actually managed to stop before I was kind of on the edge for myself, the company, the future, what daily life I wanted to do. And I'm not a fan of I would like to commit to something. And you can also commit on a healthy way. I like to be good at what I'm doing. And I just felt that already next year, also this year, I didn't want to be out sailing constantly. I didn't want to, I just felt that I didn't have enough to go on, and I didn't want to destroy everything, and that also would have affected other people's. I promised other people that we can do this and that. I wanted to educate youths, but I just saw that this doesn't feel right. And that's strangely enough, I think that as human beings, we all are really bad at accepting that. Because everything was doing well, I was doing well, and I liked what I was doing, but I just had this moment, and I was getting down to earth with myself, and I understood that this sucks, but I don't have enough I don't have what it takes, and I don't have the passion to do it. And if you don't have the passion about something like that, then you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, no, that is very true. I agree with you. Like and it's a brave and tough thing to do. Like when I've ended up in like bad places in my life, it's always been because I've just kind of accepted or said yes to very good opportunities that's come my way. And then you go, oh, this is cool. I'll do this, and oh, I can do this. This is great. I mean, this is too good to turn down. And then suddenly you're just way over your head, or you're just in somewhere that you really didn't want to be. So, yeah, the best things that I've, looking back at the big decisions that I've done with my life, has always been quitting stuff.
Yeah.
That's like the best things I've ever done with my life has been quitting stuff. If it's been, relationships, jobs, all that stuff. It's just those are the most impactful decisions I find, and by far the most difficult. For sure. So you said that you kind of burned out from sailing a little bit. Was that kind of tied up with Sophia? Was that?
No, that was actually before Sophia, because like one summer I had 52 days, and every week, like every 7th day, every Sunday, you had 10 new clients coming on board the boat. And I shared a cabin with a client, and you were just constantly working. So I was becoming the work. My whole identity was being a skipper, being sailing, and everything around it. And I'm so grateful for it, because I would have never been where I am today. I would have never learned what I knew about good things, bad things, about human beings. I would have never been at Svalbard at the age of 22 if someone didn't believe that I could do it, and I didn't believe that I could do it. So I had a really good colleagues, good crew, everything. But that was more on me. I didn't know how to manage my time, and what, as I said, what I really want to do. It was hard to turn down good opportunities, and I really wanted to be something. And then I kind of felt like I lost myself in the process of who I was and what I needed to do. And it was also when like tougher thoughts came back to life, or when I felt depressed, it was so much easier to just take the bag, go on a new sailing mission. And because then when you are there, you don't think about it. You have to focus. When you're sailing at Svalbard, there's no room for being depressed or not being focused, because then you have the opportunity, you have the responsibility for 12 human beings, and if you fuck up there, you get eaten by a polar bear for breakfast. So it's going to work has been therapy, but it's also been not good for me. It's not been good to just take a new project, and because stuff you're running away from, or feelings and thoughts and traumas, they will find their way. And it's better to I have a really good friend that I also sailed with, and that I started the company Project Sophia with, Are. He always says that you have to embrace the uncomfortable with love, and it's not that easy always. So what I've been focusing more about is to be present in all the uncomfortable you can experience in life. And for me, it's often a lot of physical stuff. I have get messed up stomach, I cold sweat all the time, my heart rate is racing, and then it's not so easy to just be in the moment, be where it's happening. But I think that's what we people need. We need to be comfortable, and we need to learn that this is not dangerous. It's just now, it's passing, and it will pass. Sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes it's so uncomfortable that you never feel like tomorrow will come, but it always does, and we are not alone. So that was the main thing with sailing for me. I did it too much, and then I was tired. It ended up in conflicts, bad experience, accidents, and then I just moved to Ålesund and started a new chapter with 62. I started driving engine boats, and that was that was the best thing I did, and I was still present, and that's what I've kind of been doing the last since 2019. I think every off season I've been just slowly approaching where I am now, where I'm actually able to. Just last week I threw away the idea of doing a new project because I just understood that okay, here we go again. So yeah,
probably a good call. It's interesting how because these this when you have that's it, that's the dream, right? Having a job that's also your hobby, like sailing or photography, and we're very lucky in that way, and it can be a great escape, like you said, from tough situations and whatnot. But then when you do it too much, and like you described, and I've also been there, then it doesn't. Yeah, it's no longer an escape. It becomes the hole that you're trying to climb out of, and it's tough. It's about finding that balance somehow, and it's not an easy thing. But it's good to hear that you think you might be on your way to finding it out, or you're gonna stay in this nice little house for a couple of days and relax, and you're gonna come up with some new monumentous projects.
Something, but just trying. That's what we can do. And I think what I have no problem like caring for others in situations like this. But I think we as human beings, and kind of my best tip, and it sounds so easy when you say it, but we need to care for ourselves also. We need to be more nice to ourselves, especially if you are in a process of changing. And I think it will take a lifetime to find the right balance. And I think it's important to not be so hard on yourself if you're failing or stepping out again. And that's where I am now. It's trying to just be nice to myself, even though I really want to do stuff. I really want to have the energy to do all the social calls again. It's winter is coming and I want to get out there, but if I do that now, I have no energy. So just try to be kind with yourself and find the balance, especially around stuff you like. Someday I'm buying my own sailboat again. It's going to be one battery, no big systems, 30 feet maybe, and easy.
Yeah.
Just the way I started.
Yeah, that's probably the way to go. I've kind of come to realize now with that I don't think the perfect balance that I also kind of been trying to figure out all my life. I just don't think I'll ever be able to find it at all. I've kind of given up on it, which also feels like that I've figured something out about myself. I guess I think if there's never like the perfect amount of stuff going on in my life. It's like either it's a little bit too little or it's a little bit too much, and I think it's the grass is always going to be greener on the other side of that. And then it's just trying to instead of balancing on the knife's edge there, maybe just like skipping back and forth and getting some variety in that regard might be the way to go for me. But yeah, well, who knows? I might have a completely different perspective in a couple of years. It's a lifelong project of figuring out this thing, this life. So what do you think now that after this winter has gone by and you've relaxed some and spring comes around, if you try to look into the crystal ball, what do you think? Will there be another project in the works? Do you have any ideas that's floating around the back of your head?
I have too much ideas. That's the problem. No, That's the good thing now. I have the ideas. I have something I'm working on, but I don't want to go all in. I don't want to get the expectations. I don't want to be disappointed if I don't make it. I just want to take my time. And then you also get the right process. That's the same thing I did with Sophia. We started in small amounts and we didn't go all in at the first time. And I think that's the most important stuff we do. If you one doesn't really find something to do, you start small and you take little and little. So hopefully I might do another season with 62. I really like it there. And combining that with creating more opportunities for the youths in Ålesund. That's what I want to affect. I want to create meeting places where they can come as they are and they can learn something and they can use that knowledge and to come out on the ocean.
That is very, very cool. I did see you're hosting a Christmas celebration in Ålesund on this fishing boat.
Fishing boat called Havstar.
That was really cool. I loved seeing that. Do you want to just explain what that is?
Yeah, we're getting into the holidays, and the holidays is also the worst time of the year for a lot of people. But also some people just want to do something else, and I think it's also the time where we as human beings are building up to that everything is going to be nice, we're going to be nice to each other, we're going to have the perfect dinner party with the whole family gathering. And people might not be that honest with themselves on what they're feeling. People might be drinking too much, and it's also the time of the year where the people that don't have so much, they really compare themselves to others, and it makes it harder. And I come from a good family where we have everything, and I still don't like the Christmas so much. Some of the grief from people you have lost becomes stronger, and it's coming home to Larvik, it's coming home to some of the bad memories, and I just wanted to do something else, and I know that a lot of people also want to do something else, and in Norway and all over the world it's a lot of good things happening on Christmas to include people that don't have so much. But I also really wanted to open up and encourage, because I heard so many stories of people that have everything, to say it, a normal Christmas day, but they still want to have a time off or something. So I decided to have like an open Christmas day on Havstar in the middle of Brosund, where you were fueling up your boat. I will stay there. We're going to have fireplaces on the whole dock. And when I posted this, the local community, like everyone wanted to help. People are bringing waffles, wood, people are transferring money so I can buy Christmas snacks, and people say that they want to just pass by, and that's the thing. Like, I wanted to create something you don't have to commit to, you don't have to say that you come, you don't have to be there for an hour, you can just come by as the person you are, and then maybe that can be a nice tradition for something. We'll see.
Yeah, that is. It's just such a cool thing. I love that, and fun to see how again you're using your outreach in this way, and we hear so much about how social media is ruining people's lives and their self-confidence, and it's good to see you using it for these kinds of things. It's very nice. I hope it goes very well.
Me too.
Great. Well, this has been awesome, Mats. Thank you so much for the chat. If people wanna follow you and check out all of these pictures that we've been talking about, where's the best way to see or find your things?
Instagram.
Instagram. Yes. Yeah. So that's just that's just Mats Grimsæth, I guess.
Yes.
On there. Very cool. Wavy 2 should be on YouTube, and I think it's on at least Norwegian Netflix. That might be changed depending on. So if you have a VPN, you might be able to pull that off. Actually, I just realized I did a podcast aboard Sophia with the previous owners. Agir Expeditions. So that'll be in the backlog of On the Wind there. So that was recorded up in Troms on Skjervøy aboard Sophia. Before your excellent refit, so there you go. You know, listen to that. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Mats. This was great. It's been nice to catch up with you. Do you think you'll head to Hjelmås sometime this winter? Or
yeah, I hope so.
Nice.
I might be another project laying under one of the boathouses that I need to renovate, a small sailing boat.
Okay, very nice. That's
see.
another connection that we share. That it's we met on Svalbard doing skippering.
It's crazy.
But then it turns out that we've kind of grown up right next to each other in this tiny village here where I live. So that is pretty cool. Sweet. Well, we'll keep in touch. Do let me know when you're here, Mats, and I'll lend you a hand and some tools and help you with your work there. I do owe you a bit after you have helped me on Isbjørn. So
no worries. That's what we do for each other.
That's true. Very nice. Okay, thank you so much, Mats. Have a good winter.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks to Pelagic Autopilots for sponsoring this season of the show. To learn more and to spec your own system, go to pelagicautopilots.com. Also, thanks to Dive Blue for sponsoring the show. To get your own tankless diving set, go to diveblue.com. On the Wind is the podcast about sailing, created by 59 North and hosted by me, August Sandberg, and also by Andy Schell and Emma Garshagen. The show is mixed and produced in Frederick, Maryland by Lee Cumberland. Ads are read by us, the hosts, and occasionally by 59 North's bosun Adam Brown and podcast producer Lee Cumberland. Episode artwork and website show notes are done by Laura Parent in San Francisco. The intro theme music is composed and performed by former podcast guest and musician Cameron Dale, while the outro music you're hearing now is of course by our friends Storm Weather Shanty Choir. We love hearing from our fans, so send your questions and comments to holdfast@59-north.com, and please do us a favor and review the show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, hold fast.
And the horse, I made up me mind that I was inclined to go to sea no more. No more, no more, to go to sea no more. I made up me mind that I was inclined to go to sea no more. As I was walking down the street, I met sweet Angeline. She said, come home with me, me lad, and we'll have a cracking time. But when I awoke, it was no joke. I found I was all alone. My silver watch and my money too, and my whole bloody gear was gone. Was gone, was gone. My whole bloody gear was gone. It was when I awoke, it was no joke, for my whole bloody gear was gone. As I was walking down the street, I met Big Rapper Brown. I asked him if he would take me in, and he looked at me with a frown. He said,
last time you was paid up with me, you took up no score. But I'll take your advance and I'll give you a chance to go to sea once more.
once more, to go to sea once more. I'll take your advance and I'll give you a chance to go to sea once more. Sometimes we're catching whales, me lads, but mostly we get none. With a 20-foot oar in every paw from 5 o'clock in the morn. And when daylight's gone and the night's coming on, we rest upon our oars. And oh boys, you wish that you was dead or snug with the girls ashore. Ashore, ashore, or snug with the girls ashore. Oh boys, you wish that you was dead or snug with the girls ashore. Come all you seafaring lads that listen to me song. When you go a big boating, boys, make sure you do not go wrong. You take my tip when you come off a trip, don't go with any horse. But get married instead and have all night in bed and go to sea no more. No more, no more, to go to sea no more. Get married instead and have all night in bed and go to sea no more. No more, no more, to go to sea no more. Get married instead and have all night in bed and go to sea no more.